All right, my brothers and sisters, this is we're doing a little myth dispelling again once again because I've seen too many people that they end up buying a Nvidia card because they're like on Windows and switching to Linux and they don't realize that that's going to be like the fucking bane of their of their existence for the next few months. So why we're gonna very lightly discuss why people will generally tell you just use AMD if you're on Linux, because you'll get a few gaslighters that say, "Oh, it works just fine on my system," but it probably doesn't, depending on your use case. And the more specific your use case gets, the harder it is to recommend Nvidia. You know what I mean? Because here's kind of the driver situation right now is you've got Novu, which barely fucking works at all. You've got the Nvidia 10 series and over, which the 10 series was where Nvidia really drastically shifted their backend and made it like impossible to fucking develop on Nvidia cards. It just became such a shit show. So there is one specific piece of software besides machine learning which benefits from CUDA, which is called DaVinci Resolve. And DaVinci Resolve can use CUDA to render, and it's generally a lot faster, and you can get better quality than on like software rendering or like rendering by the AMD GPU. The problem though is DaVinci Resolve is proprietary software, and even though it has a Linux version, you always have to remember that you're running a piece of proprietary software that does not have your best interests at heart. So, what do I mean by that? Well, because it's so shit on AMD, they only focused on NVIDIA. You're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place where if you want this software, you have to run a card that's going to give you fucking hell in every other aspect of your of your machine. So, if I can, I would highly recommend. I mean, obviously, I don't edit my videos right now because I just don't fucking feel like it. But I have actually on my other channel, I do have videos that were rendered in Kdenlive with about the same quality as what I was doing in After Effects with like the red plugins. So it does take a bit longer to render, but it took long on After Effects anyways, so it doesn't even matter. But kind of the problem with Nvidia now, I've only got a Nvidia 750M, and even though I really had no brand loyalty before my last AMD card, I have been completely scared off of using Nvidia on my desktop. I just don't want it anywhere near my system. And the reason for this is because I know too many people that have had issues, even with the 30 series cards, especially the 40 series cards, which don't have good support at all. But the 30 series, especially when you start getting into like Wayland or WMs, like window managers, shit gets really hairy really fast and a lot of shit just stops working. So stuff like Hyperlin probably just isn't going to work at all. And if you're using Wayland, it's a real pain in the ass on NVIDIA. So, and you've already heard this. You already fucking know this. You see the memes about it all the time. But I get really sick and tired of people gaslighting, especially people that don't own a NVIDIA card and don't even have the use case, don't even have the the experience to let you know that their experience wasn't bad, because I only know a few people that actually have newer Nvidia cards, and they do tell me, yeah, it's horrible. If I wasn't using it just for DaVinci Resolve, I wouldn't be using it at all. And some of them actually did end up switching to AMD. Even though they had like a 3090, they would rather take the performance hit just that their shit will work fine. So, but again, because I don't have the experience, I can't like go into specifics besides what I've already mentioned about why you probably don't want to use NVIDIA. Now, you might think to yourself, but wait, the open source driver is coming, and then everything will be cool. No, it won't be. That'll take a few years to develop, honestly. Like, and even when it is put out, you're still gonna have to wait years just for shit to get working. Because like Novu, it still doesn't fucking work. And I don't care how many people NVIDIA are putting on it, they're not putting the effort that they do into the Windows graphics driver. This is not how it's going to work. So, what's going to happen is if you buy a NVIDIA card right now, you are going to get left behind when this new driver comes out. Because kind of how I'm seeing it right now. Now, I think it's only not supported on like the 10 series right now, which technically is like 10 years old, but new graphics cards only come out every few years, so that's like 3 generations old. I think 4 generations now. So, they were willing to cut off a lot of GPUs that people may still be running, you know? So I don't really feel comfortable running a NVIDIA card in my system when I'm having to deal with proprietary drivers that rely on NVIDIA for support because my current card, the 750M, doesn't get new drivers. Novu's still a piece of shit. So what's gonna happen if I get if I don't upgrade my GPU for a while? Because I don't have that kind of money, you know? But basically, yeah, I mean, you already know about like, especially laptops with NVIDIA cards, that it's such a pain in the ass. Especially with Optimus and all that. It's so shit. And I don't know why people keep saying that NVIDIA has really any use case on Linux because besides DaVinci and like maybe if you're running Stable Diffusion, I can't think of any reason why you would want a NVIDIA card on a Linux system. But especially for just like a gamer or something that's fucking using it as a normal graphics card, but just wants their shit to work and they want to be able to use the latest features like Wayland, you know? I can't recommend it to them. I can't. And I especially can't recommend a current card when I don't know the future of this driver situation. Because once this open source driver comes out, you'll have to get whatever's supported and you'll have to be in a kernel that supports it. So what do you do, you know? And that's really all I wanted to talk about today was just because I had a fucking heated discussion with with fucking Steve um from Zero Linux, you know. And we've been talking for a long time, but I told him I said, "Man, don't use a NVIDIA card on Linux if you value your sanity." And he's got a 1080, which is currently too old to be. One person said he did get Wayland working on it, but I don't know uh how trustworthy that is because Steve is generally kinda competent at Linux, so he should be able to get it working if it's possible. But basically he said that his 1080 is too old to be run on Wayland, which is that's fucking horseshit, man. Like if I had a 10-year-old AMD card, it would work fucking fine, you know. But or like an iGPU or something, you know. So but he kept trying to convince me that Nvidia was the best option. I'm like, here, once you fucking get some money and stop begging people on the internet for your fucking donations when you don't even run a distribution anymore, then you can tell me that Nvidia works so well when you fucking put one in your system, you dumb fuck. You know what I mean? So, anyways, that's really all I wanted to talk about is for two people that have no experience with these new Nvidia cards. I do know he said he knows people that don't have any issues. Everybody I know has got issues. So if you don't, feel free to comment it, but I don't know if I can believe you honestly. But anyways, that's the myth dispelled. Nvidia is a fucking shit show on Linux. The Linus meme, Linus, about Nvidia, fuck you. It's totally accurate, and not just in the Android space. It's a fucking nightmare on desktop as well. So that's about it though. Thanks.